Greetings! I am back for a third day in a row because I had 2 days where I won 2 games in a row, and I'm feeling lucky because I want to see if I can make it 3 days in a row that I actually win a chess game. Today I am coming to you from Reykjavik, Iceland. I sadly left Greenland earlier today. I actually contemplated staying. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I decided that I need to go home and actually do some work and fulfill my responsibilities at home. So, I had this. I can't go directly from Greenland to the U.S. I had to go from Greenland, stay in Iceland for 2 days, and I will head back to the United States on Wednesday. But right now, let's go ahead and see if we can get into a game. Get a new game, and we're gonna stick with the 30-minute games since those give me enough time to talk and blab and actually think and actually and for the past 2 days won. Now I am right on the edge of 1200, which means I'm going to lose this game. All right, I'm black, and today I am playing Jigsaw. This is I don't know what flag that is. If I look closely, I see some stars. Is that like an island nation? Is it Papua New Guinea or the Philippines or something? Let me see. And it is Venezuela. I was close. I mean, Papua New Guinea, Venezuela. All right. He wants to bring this queen out here, I bet. He wants to bring the queen here to what is that? That's the F3 square. I'm just going to go ahead, continue on like normal. Is he going to try and screw up my... Nah, he wouldn't. Surely he would not sacrifice his bishop in order to screw up my castle. Surely he would not do that. All right, I don't know. That seems like a weird move, but okay. All right, let's just go ahead and continue. He can't bring that guy. He can't bring his B pawn down because I'll just take it. If he pushes with the D pawn, I'll just capture. All right, so he's doing this. That's fine. I will castle. Castle is first priority. Next, I will bring my knight out. I feel confident on this game already. I mean, we're less than a full minute into the game, but I already feel that my theory is sound. I have no theory, but I do feel that things are better. This game, I'm looking positive. Jegsi from the beautiful country of Venezuela, which I went to Venezuela a long time ago, back before you had Chavez and all of the stuff that they have going on now. This was back in, oh my God, it had to be, I think it was before 9/11, so it was over 20 years ago. And this was back when it was okay to go to Venezuela, but you stayed away from Colombia. Now, today, it's the complete opposite in terms of South America. It's okay to go to Colombia, but you stay away from Venezuela. And we didn't go to Caracas. We went to we drove along the coast. Where did we go? I don't remember. It's been so long, I don't even remember the name of the city. I'm going to have to look this up. I'll know it as soon as I see it. Venezuela. No, I don't know it. Was it Caracas? I didn't think I could have sworn I've never been to Caracas, but now I'm looking at the map and I'm like, maybe I did go to Caracas. Maybe I did. All right, he is attacking. What is he attacking? Nothing really. He might try to put this knight here. Where would he try and put it? Well, he might try to put it on the D5 square because I can't take, because then he'll just take my queen. I can protect against that by pushing my C pawn up. Let's harass his bishop a little bit. Now he could take, which is all right. He's going to do that. That seemed like a weird move. Now he needs to be careful if he brings that knight down. All right, I thought he was going to checkmate, but he's not. All right, I need to guard D5. Really, the only way to guard d5 is by pushing the pawn up. I don't want to do that. I need to prepare for him to come to bring his knight to d5. All right, I will go ahead and... This is going to go against my better judgment. No. All right, let's do that. I am pretty sure that his intention... And actually, with this move, this isn't a terrible move, because I could either push up with my b pawn to harass his bishop, or I could... All right, so he's preparing to bring his bishop out. Or he's preparing to bring that b pawn down to harass my bishop. All right, if I push up with d, he takes, I take, he takes. That's the end of the line, and he wins. I don't like that. If I push up with the b pawn, he takes, I take. Let's do this. Because he wants to bring that b pawn down. I know that's exactly what he wants to do, because he wants to try and harass my bishop. But I got to be careful. So let's say he brings the b pawn down. I take, he takes. No, he wouldn't take, because then I would take his rook, but he could capture with the queen. So maybe. But yeah, no, I left Greenland this morning. It's about a 3-hour flight from Nuuk to Reykjavik. And what's he doing? He's attacking my bishop. He really doesn't like that bishop. I'm going to push up with my d pawn, which will also free up my light squared bishop. But this morning I was sitting at the Airbnb in Nuuk, and I really considered... I was actually on... And here's something, Iceland Air. I don't understand Iceland Air. Because I called on my phone, and... what did he take? What did he capture? He captured my bishop. I'm gonna have a double pawn, but that's fine. But I was on hold with Iceland Air on my phone for a half hour, so I said, okay, let me go on one of these online programs where you can actually make a phone call as well. Within 30 seconds, I got a freaking agent on the line. It would have cost me about $170 to change the flights, but it wasn't really a matter of expense. It was really a matter of, I've been blowing off work for the past week while I was in Greenland. And I was like, can I really afford to blow work off for another week? And, I couldn't do it. This bishop, I'm going to push up here. That bishop's looking kind of trapped. He goes there, he goes there, he goes there. Yeah, he could go. The bishop could retreat to the A2 square. I don't know why he moved his king. I don't know why he wouldn't just move his queen and castle, or move his knight and castle. Seems like a weird choice. All right, I want to get my rook, my knight, or my bishop into the game. I could do... I'm thinking about moving my bishop to e6, which is about the only move he has. So let's do that. I'd like to connect my rooks. So I have my knight in the way. I could move the knight to d7. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be there. I could move... So each of us is down a bishop and a knight. Now, if I win this game, I will get above 1,200. That's something. That's something. All right. Before I start to push up with my pawns, I do want to get my knight into the game at least a little bit. I'll do that with d7, I think. king is in a very weird position. If I push up, he takes, I take. No. I'm gonna go ahead and put the knight on d7. I feel like I'm gonna regret that. I'm not very confident in that move, and I know when I come back and do an analysis on this game, I said analysis. I know when I do that, it's going to tell me that there is a better move, but I don't know what that better move is. Berto Prey in the chat room saying Kapla, and now my wife is calling me on the phone, but I will have to answer her later. But yeah, as I was saying about Greenland, so I was on the phone with Iceland Air. It would have cost, but I've been blowing off work so much that I decided not to extend my trip, and thus I am in Iceland now, on my way back to the United States, heading on Wednesday. Let's see. If I take, he takes there. I'm also thinking about just pushing up with the B pawn. Just push up with that guy. B pawn, push up. He takes, I take. No, I think I want to do the. I think I. No. Dude, if I push up with the. What if I move the A pawn and he takes? I take. No. There. I want to. This stacked pawns is really causing me some trouble, and I'm not sure. I think I might want to move my knight over to B6. I mean, he like, for example, his knight and his rook are not in the game at all. The kingside knight is completely trapped by a pawn. Well, it's not completely trapped. I guess it could go to the h3 square, but it's not really a factor. As a result, the rook is not in the game. His rooks are not connected. His light squared pawn is literally trapped. I'm going to keep the light squared pawn trapped. And I can do that if I push up with the B pawn. Yeah, I'll push up with the B pawn. He takes, I take. So if he captures my pawn, I'll recapture with my A pawn. And I mean, his bishop is not effectively trapped. I mean, it's effectively trapped. The only way it could really escape from this is going back to the back rank and then getting out somehow. So, sadness. So, Bird of Prey, writing go on vacation in Iceland. Play online chess from hotel. You could play at home. Forget to turn on sound. Is my sound not on? My sound's on. No one can hear you. Oh, audio may be my problem. Yeah, never mind. Audio's fine. Yes. The audio's fine. You know, before you were a big YouTube star, Joe, don't forget, I was the YouTube star once, long ago. Long ago. Before, back in my day, we didn't have any of your fancy super chats or our subscribers or anything like that. We just had a like button, and that's the way we liked it. Something. Jeg. I wonder what part of Venezuela Jegsi is in. Jegsi. Now he has to realize that, like his pawn's not in a good. His pawn's not in. I mean, not his bishop. His light squared bishop really is inconsequential. His rook, his kingside rook, is inconsequential. His knight is pretty much inconsequential. Inconsequential. Imagine saying consequences. Inconsequential. I keep forgetting about that word. All right, come on, Jegsi. Come on. So, it must have been Caracas that I went to, because it was on the beach and we had a car, and we drove and we drove, and there was a lot of nothing, and it smelled. Every little town we went into kind of just smelled of waste. It wasn't very nice. It was like the scenery was pretty, but the beaches, it wasn't the kind of beach where you'd want to get out and like swim or, you know, have a day at the beach. Not that I'm a really day at the beach kind of person, but yeah, Venezuela was, I don't have very good memories of Venezuela. But again, it was 20 years ago, and obviously I didn't remember that I went to Caracas, so obviously the memories I have of Venezuela aren't very good either. Jegsy, come on. But yes, so Bird of Prey saying go to vacation in Iceland. I went to vacation in Greenland by way of Iceland. So my options were to go to Greenland. I could fly to Copenhagen and then go to Iceland, and that would have required like going from DC, where I live in the DC, Washington DC area, go from DC to I think JFK to Copenhagen to a little town Kitsilaput, because the flights from Denmark to Greenland, there's 2 stops to get to the capital Nuuk. There's one stop, I'm sorry. So you got to go from Copenhagen to Kapsalut to Nuuk. There's no direct flight from Copenhagen to Nuuk. So I could have done that. Or I could do what I did, which was fly to Iceland, hang out in Iceland for a day or 2, and then fly to Greenland. And I ended up hanging out for 2 days because I had to get a PCR test, because you got to get a PCR test to go to Greenland, which I found out the hard way back in July, and it was lots of drama. Jegsy, are you going to make a move? He might have abandoned the game. Then again, he's in Venezuela. Who knows what the internet is like in Venezuela? It's probably not very good. It's a coastal country, so the internet probably the landlocked countries like Bolivia and I'm gonna get hell if I can't remember if it's Uruguay or Paraguay that's landlocked. I think it's Uruguay. Now I gotta look it up. No, it's Paraguay. No, I met a girl. I met a girl from Paraguay years ago. I met her in Bolivia. She was beautiful, and I kept telling her that I wanted to go to Montevideo because I hadn't been to Montevideo. I've been to Asuncion, but I had never been to Montevideo. And I remember this, and then she's like, "Well, you've been to my country," and I'm like, "No, because I've never been to Paraguay. I thought Montevideo was in Paraguay. Asuncion is actually in Paraguay, which I've been to, and I never." So anyway, it was a big thing. This was 2008. This was before cancer. This was a long time ago. All right, Jegsy, 20 minutes, and I will sit here. I am stubborn. I will sit here, and I will wait every last second for Jegsy to make a move. Don't think I'm going to walk away, Jegsy. Don't think you're going to win this by abandoning the game. And I will complain about you too. I can certainly just talk about nothing for 20 minutes. You know, it's not going to be a pretty way to win these 27 points and get me over 1,200, but you know what? I'll take it. Doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to be effective. It's my philosophy with girlfriends too. No, that's not true. I like pretty girlfriends. All right, let's see what we got. Jegsy. Did he go? Oh, he went. All right, so he moved his bishop back. All right. I'm thinking about pushing up with my A pawn. He takes, I take with my rook. What if I take, what if my B pawn takes his A pawn? No, that's not very good. Another move is moving my knight to B6 to start putting pressure on the C pawn. I like that my rooks are connected. I feel pretty good. pretty good. I think about moving my queen over to G. So to the G file. Then I would be in line to put pressure on the king and the queen. I'm going to do that. I think... Yeah, I think that's the move I want to do. This. If I do that, I will be in line to go to H5, which, because his king and his queen are on the same diagonal. And if in theory the king, just for example, say it moved, say I checked, and the king moved to E3, I would be able to capture his queen, and he would not be able to recapture because both of his rooks now are basically useless. Let's do that. All right. All right, Jegsy. I'm still in this. Don't think I walked away just because I took a minute to make a move. I'm on to you, Jegsy. I got this. Now, if I flip the board, can I flip the board? If I was Jegsy, what would I do? First, I'd leave Venezuela. That would be the first thing. But in terms of this game, what would I do? I might be annoying and push up with my A pawn if I was him. Ooh, wait a minute. But I just saw... So I just realized that this pawn here... What a genius move I just did. So not only... Okay, yeah, I didn't even realize this. His G pawn, I could capture that pawn and then potentially get the rook, depending on what he does. He's probably now going to push up. So if I look at his side, he's probably going to take his G pawn and either go up 1 or 2. Probably 1. If I had to guess, it would be 1. But I didn't even see that at first. It's interesting. Now, he could also take with his pawn. No, he's not going to take with his pawn because if I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm thinking like I need my mouse so I can draw. But I was thinking he would take with his A pawn. He would take my B pawn with his A pawn, in which case I would just take his G pawn, check him, and then take the rook. Or maybe there was something more sinister I could do. I don't know. I'd have to look honestly. Okay, so he pushed up with the pawn, which is what I thought he would do. I could sacrifice my bishop. I take my bishop to... I want to make sure I don't click on anything. I take my bishop to G4. He would probably capture. I could check him. I got to be careful. I don't want to sacrifice material. Right now, we're pretty even. I don't want to sacrifice material. I could push up with my H-pawn. He wouldn't have much of a response to that, though. That's a good move. This... He could capture, and then in which case I'll just capture. No, if he captures, I'll check. Okay, all right. All right, I got to be careful. And he's got a good chain going here. He's got a really good chain. If I take, he takes. If I take and then he takes, that basically puts the H file off bounds for me. Huh. I'm going to try and work my way, try and weasel my way through this pawn chain. See if I can get there. Whoa, it is late here. It is almost 10 o'clock. I mean, time changes have been so weird on this trip. Greenland is 2 hours ahead of East Coast time, and Iceland is 4 hours ahead. All right, let's do this. He'll take. I'll take. Alright, I need to get my knight into the game. I can't decide if I want to take my knight to back up my queen. But then he doesn't have a lot of options. If I take my knight to b6, theoretically, I could go b6, a4, check with c3, and depending on what he's done, could potentially be a fork, maybe. Now, if I could get my knight to f4, that would be ideal. f4 would have to come from there. Let's stick with my plan. He wants to bring his queen on top of, in front of the rook. He's thinking check. He's thinking checkmate down here on the H file, which means I might want to push my pawn up if he doesn't take it. Oh, if he does take it, I might just leave it there. Maybe not. Yeah, I think I'm going to push my H pawn up next. If I push the H pawn up, because I can definitely I see the gears turning in Jegsi's head. He's thinking like, oh, all right, yeah, that H file is looking pretty sweet. If I can get my queen in front of this rook, open up the H file, that's a guaranteed checkmate. I'm on to you, Jegsi. I know how you Venezuelans think. Is that offensive? I didn't mean for it. I mean, I'm South American too, so I think I'm allowed to say that. Got 15 minutes left. So yeah, so I will spend tomorrow in Iceland going to get a COVID test, and there's something else I need to do. I forget what it is. But what's really cool in Reykjavik is that they have these scooters, and you can rent these like little electric scooters and get all over town. So I'm just going to rent a scooter tomorrow, and I already know where the COVID test place is. I have literally been there 3 or 4 times. So that's not a big deal. I do want to work a little bit tomorrow, but I'm 4 hours ahead. So 8 a.m. at home is 12 p.m. here, but I will probably wake up at 10 a.m. Greenland time. Okay, did he go? No, he didn't go. What was that little notification? I saw that there was a little notification, but I missed it. Oh, good move. Good move, Jegsi. I don't want to move my queen over to... I was thinking about moving my queen to f4, but then if he moves his knight... maybe that's not such a bad idea. Then I can get my queen back on this file. On the F file, if I do that. All right, let's see if he moves his knight. I'm suspecting he'll move his... Oh, he might take. Yeah. That's fine. Let's stick with my plan. Fuck! He's got checkmate. Fuck! I wonder if he sees it. Surely he sees it. No, he didn't see it. I got lucky. All he needed to do was queen right here to g7, and that was checkmate. But I don't want to risk it, so... Yeah, no, he totally had checkmate. That was a missed win for him. Woo! All right, I got lucky. Yeah, saw that coming. Wait a minute. I mean, how do I abort? I want to make sure I abort this move. If he comes down, I take... yeah, that's too dangerous. Okay. I'm suspecting knight to g5 here. Or that. All right, so he doesn't want to take the bishop because he's lined up on the G file and he has his mind set on the G file. Obviously, he can't leave his queen there. If I have a moment to breathe after this move, because I'm suspecting he's going to go to like queen to g3, queen to g4. No, he won't do g4. I'm suspecting he'll probably do queen to g3. Or he'll take my bishop. I'm going to bring... depending on the move, I'm thinking about bringing my A rook over to the B. And then I have a check. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see where he's at. Trying to read the mind of Jegsy. Well, this has been a good vacation. This has been this Greenland was more than I really could have hoped for. I should have changed my trip to get on the ferry and go up to Ilulissat but it would have added a good 10 days to the trip, which again, it wasn't a matter of financial cost. It was a matter of cost to my work. And I've been blowing off work pretty hardcore lately. So, yeah. So I was like, all right, I need to go back home where I can concentrate on work. I'm not going to have a distraction of a new city, of a new country. I'm not going to have any of those distractions. I'll just have my dog and I'll have my desk. And I'll have, the things I always have. And I'll be able to actually focus on work and actually do something, especially considering I just got this big promotion like 2 weeks ago. And, so that, oh, great, I got a big promotion. Time to slack off. Time to go to a different country and just not take any time off work, but really don't accomplish much of anything. So I need to get some stuff done. All right, Jegsy, come on. And I finally, last night, I did finally decide to watch Squid Game. I remember seeing it in Bolivia when I was there about 3 or 4 weeks ago when it first premiered. And I didn't watch it. But, with all the hype and everything, I decided to check it out. I am on episode 5 now, A Fair World. And I was kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of into it, I guess. I'm not too into it. The Korean Pak Picket girl is really pretty. I think she's a very attractive woman. And I like the games. I like when they're playing the games. I kind of, but there's all this, story about the mean guy. And I'm not paying attention to it, really. I like, there's the drama with the old guy. And then there's the bully group. And they just finished Tug of War. Or they're still playing Tug of War. I'm not sure. Tug of War was on the screen. And let me show you the view that I have. Ooh. This is right in downtown Reykjavik. This is Largavegur Street, which is actually a very busy. It's actually a street with like lots of bars and lots of restaurants. It's not that busy right now because it's 10 o'clock on a Monday night. But Largavegur. And actually in July, right down here, there's a red light way in the distance. You take a right. That's where I stayed in July. Pretty exciting stuff. All right, so he decided to take it. I know that hurt him. I know he didn't want to do it. Now, what am I going to do? Maybe I'll stick to my plan. Bring the rook over with he's probably going to bring the queen back onto the back rank. He's probably going to bring the queen back. That's what he wants to do. I know it's what he wants to do. That's okay. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to go up for a check. If he takes the pawn, that's no big deal. I'm expecting him to. Now, depending if he takes my pawn or not, I could move my... That's a thought. Move my rook to b3 with the thought of taking his. No, 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 no. That's a bad idea. It's a thought, but that's a bad thought. That's what that is. I definitely have the time advantage now. He needs to start paying attention. He's got coming in under 7 minutes left of time. I don't know how I'm going to get to sleep tonight. I mean, it's already 10 o'clock here. And so, which means it's 8 o'clock in Greenland, which means it's actually 6 o'clock at home. I go home Tuesday, so I'm going to be jet lagged or Wednesday. I go home Wednesday. I'm going to be, but it's always easier going back to the United, like if you travel east, it's always easier to travel back west because then you just stay up longer and then you get up a little early for a few days until you adjust. Traveling east sucks. As far as like adjusting to the time, it's awful. What's he going to do? I could bring the rook on the back file. I could bring it over to A to guard the pawn if he doesn't take the pawn. It's something. Maybe that's what I'll do. Depending if he does something like bring the queen back over to G2 or G3, which I'm kind of suspecting he'll do. Then I can go up. Ooh, if he took it to G2, that would be a blessing because then I could get his queen. Come on, do that, Jegsy. Put your queen back where it was. You know you want it back on G2. He probably sees that, though. Let's flip the board again. See if there's anything. All right, so if I was Jegsy, which means I'm white, I'm probably taking the pawn. Or I'm checking. Check. Check. No. What to do? All right, Jegsy, you've got 4.5 minutes left. 4.5 minutes. How long was I in Venezuela? It was a few days. We flew in. I swear it was in Caracas. I'm looking at the map again. Marachabo? It was on the coast. It was fairly it must have been Caracas. I always remember we avoided Colombia and we went to Venezuela. We were in Bolivia. We drove from Bolivia, Peru to Ecuador, flew to Venezuela, then flew to Brazil. It was a big South American trip. It was actually a really cool trip. But I think and it's, you know, Greenland has been on my list of places that I wanted to go to since I was a kid. Like just always, I've always wanted to go to Greenland. And now that I've been there, it's like, well, what next? Where are you going to go next? So I think the next big trip, which I might do, I don't know, springtime-ish, is Ushuaia. Oh, okay. Well, all right. He knew I wanted to check. I need to watch my own defense. Let me move this out of the way. If I take, he takes. I can push him out. I can force him out. All right, let me do that. I'm going to force him back onto that rank again. All right, I forgot what I was saying. I completely got wrapped up there for a minute. What was I talking? Oh, the next big trip. So Ushuaia, which is the southern tip of South America. It's in Argentina. It's this little tiny town. I've got checkmate. Oh wait, no, I don't. He can't check. He could check me. Yeah, he needs to he needs to do something because if he's not careful, I mean, I've got checkmate. I just need a free move. He will. I suspect he's probably going to bring the rook over to check me, which is going to just drag me down to D. Then he checks me with the queen, which pushes me back up. Then he drags the. He can't move the rook back to DC at that point because then I just take. But I might not take. I might just move behind. No, actually, I would take at that point, and because then I could get his other rook. Because then I might not. If I follow that line, all right. I know my thinking's all jumbled. So he brings the rook over to check. I go here. He brings the queen to D. Check. I go to C. He brings the rook back to check. That's when I take the rook with my queen. He moves his king over to guard that, but he can't because my rook is there. That might be checkmate. Yeah, I think that would be checkmate. Let's do that line again. He moves the rook over. I bring my king to D4. Queen to D8. King to C3. Rook to C1. Queen to C1. Checkmate. Yeah. And he's going to let time run out. Three in a row, baby. 1,200 plus. 1,200 plus. Oh, yeah. I had 2 mistakes and 3 blunders in that. How do I get my grade? Every time I've been trying to figure out how to get my grade. I just want my grade. Analysis. If I go to the game analysis, will I get the grade? No. If I go to game report, can I get my grade there? Details? Openings? Analysis? Moments? Report? Here we go. Okay, so looking at the accuracy levels, this is definitely a game I should have won, which I did win. Thankfully, I mean, I had a 69.7, which is almost a C. I had a high D, whereas Jegsy, he had a 39.1% accuracy, which is it's not good. So I had one missed win, 3 blunders, and 4 mistakes, 1 inaccuracy. So all in all, I did okay. It wasn't the best of games, but it wasn't the worst of games either. I had no brilliant moves, but then again, neither did Jegsy. I'm not going to bother. Maybe if I could look at the missed win. But see, I don't like this. That it tells me the missed win. Oh, that was his missed win. Yes, this is where he had checkmate. That would have been, if he moved his queen down, that would have been checkmate for him. There would have been nothing I could have done. So yeah, I got very lucky that Jegsy did not see the checkmate move, and I won 3 games in a row. 3rd day in a row. I think maybe playing chess on the road is my good luck charm. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you probably maybe again tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.